International Day of Comedy Film Festival out of Los Angeles, California. The whole state of California is celebrating the International Day of Comedy because Arnold Schwarzenegger, when he was governor, proclamated my birthday as the International Day of Comedy. So as far as I'm concerned, the entire state is experiencing the International Day of Comedy, which is officially tomorrow, but I'm making this festival endeavor the entire month of April. So the whole month of April is the International Month of Comedy, as far as I'm concerned. And today, I have with me Nyhl Henson, which is a brother from another mother I met a while back on a couple other ventures. And I was very impressed with him, and hopefully he was impressed with me. And we stayed in touch and kept this relationship kicking down the road. And now I have you back, my brother, recycled in some new ventures that we're doing. I'm very excited to have you. Everybody, welcome Nyhl Henson to the International Day of Comedy Film Festival. Everybody. So how
My
are
pleasure.
you, Good to see
I'm
you.
doing good to see you, and I'm excited about seeing what you have done since we had our other projects together, and I really I think the reason we're talking today is I see a fit here with what we're launching here in the streaming 2.0 era, and some of the things that you're doing fits right into our content mix.
Yeah, I love what you're doing. I want to get into it in a second, but let's go back a few chapters. When we worked together, I mean, from day one, I was really impressed with you and excited to hopefully work with you on something. And unfortunately, the deal that was on the table at the time didn't actually get across the finish line. But the fact that we had a strong chemistry and we had ambitious minds that were on the same track leads us to what led us to our relationship. So tell me a little bit about what you're doing now. I gave you the fast track of what I was doing, and you saw the synergies, but I'm super, super excited what you're into right now. So take a few seconds and just kind of give us a little bit of your background that led up to what you're doing right now, and then like really go in, full frontal, full court press on what you're doing right now.
Okay, well, my background is I was able to catch the cable boom at the forefront and ride that out. And as we're now moving into another era of distribution, if you will, that is far beyond what cable could ever think about being, streaming, knowing that there are today over 3.5 billion people that have smart devices in the world. That's a heck of a market. The entertainment companies, so-called Hollywood, have really milked the golden cow about as far as they can with the cable industry, and are now making their segue into the streaming market, and what many of them refer to as streaming 2.0. And one of the executives of a major company of Comcast, Disney, Viacom, et cetera, made a comment some time ago when they announced they were starting to stick their toe in the water, and that streaming would ultimately be the dominant source of income for the entertainment industry, or so-called Hollywood. And the quote was something like, "We are going to lose and spend billions to make trillions." Now, as I fast forward, and the company that I have created, you might say, is an independent company, and we've set out to go after content that none of the big guys have in their portfolios. And basically what they're going to do, as you can see now, is just chop up what they have and put it out there, and then evolve and develop utilizing all the capabilities that exist on these smart devices and the broadband pipes, that fiber and everything else that connect the world all together in a one big happy family. So what we are setting out to do is to launch into the 2.0 era as the big ships are going out into the lane. Our yacht is coming out right behind them, but we're different in that our content is exclusive and proprietary, and it's in 6 different areas of a very passionate but underserved audience. And many of these, after I retired from the cable business in my middle 40s, I looked at what else I could do. And one of those was a project with you a few years ago, and saw that where the trends were and where there were opportunities to secure content that none of the other media companies had done on a national scale then, and now a global scale. And specifically, they are Boomers, Parents, and Family. That's the name I give it because the age wave, the Boomers are a very growing market and a very deep pocket market. And as you know, this more or less developed in my involvement on more or less the ground floor of the Branson market, the Branson, Missouri market, which even to this day, it caters to that world. To this day, has 8 million people spending $1.5 billion. So we are developing content specifically for that. Expect to be working with AARP, which old people are cool now. As a matter of fact, the last magazine that AARP had, Bruce Springsteen was on the cover. So there's a whole nother market there, and we have been working on that. And as you know, I did a lot of projects in each of these categories, utilizing traditional media on a onesie basis, not any kind of a packaging or a network, waiting for the right time, and now's the time. Because all of these other things that we can do with these smart devices, gamification, AR, VR, cryptocurrency, blockchain, in which we can handle the way in which we can target the distribution, really opens the door for us to really create hip, cool content that also produces a revenue basis, merchandising, of course, a revenue basis above and beyond having to charge a very high subscription rate. Mm-hmm. Anyway, in addition to Boomers, Parents, and Family, and please stop me anytime you want to slow me down.
I want to get all of it. Yeah,
content is king. Content is king, and these are areas that we have roped in and ready to put the content together and test it in our 20 markets in which we are installing TAMI centers. TAMI stands for Technotainment Arts and Media Institutes. Now, Technotainment is TAMI. And Technotainment, I'm going to jump to that for a second, is what we have coined. And I'd like to say, since I've worked with most of those entertainment companies, Comcast, Disney, Viacom in my other life, my 1.0 life, that when I say we, I'd like to call, I have coined the term, or we have coined the term. And as a matter of fact, our company is called Technotainment Streaming Media Incorporated. We're a C Corp. And that Streaming 2.0 enables this television system that we're looking at now to do a lot more than just providing content and we watch it. It enables us to do all kinds of different things with the capabilities that are already there, exist, been paid for, and with 5G and what Samsung et al. Are doing and Apple is doing, the broadband systems are already there. In the early cable days, we had to worry about getting the franchise bill in the cable system, making the programming. This is a fun time to be in this, but it has to be at the right time. So
I
Uh,
love your
the,
brand. Technotainment is so cool, and it's like it's easy, it's quick, you can remember it. As far as like branding and a phonetically sounding, fun entertainment entity, Technotainment is that's a great name for a company.
well, we tried to come up with this, and I've worked with a lot of smart people, and can't it take the rest of the day to mention it all, but mention all of them. But we 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 tried to come up with a name that would define how we saw this new medium and this new art form. As you probably know from my background with Warner Communications, we developed the first interactive cable system called QUBE. So I had a little bit of experience, and we were also working with a sister company called Atari. That was in the early 80s, late 70s.
I played Atari. I'm familiar
Okay,
with
yeah,
that.
okay, Pong. I mean, I used to have anyway, so I had a sense of what interactivity would do, but it was a little bit ahead of its time. Now, the participatory relationship with the user, viewer, whatever you want to call it, consumer, and everybody else on the other end and what's in between is up to the most creative opportunity that anyone can get in. So what we decided is to set up these TAMI centers in 20 cities. We have 3 of them now. One here in Fort Worth, which is our pilot project, where I'm hands-on. We got set back a little bit with the interns because we're working out intern relationships with the area universities. Go Baylor, and and in Charleston, South Carolina, with University of South Carolina. And we're also including the ones over down the road, Duke, North Carolina State, Wake Forest, Tempe, Arizona, which is our third, Arizona State University. And because Tempe is the West Coast hub for PBS, we expect to work with them somewhat. So anyway, the content to go down and be defined as technotainment is on its own, I believe, will sustain itself with the distribution that's there and the exclusivity and the passionate audiences. A second area is self-improvement, personal development. People are selling $20 billion worth of books, but again, it's an underserved by media today. There's only so many channels on cable, right? And a very passionate audience. And we have been developing that. I think my originally Robert Kiyosaki and DC Cordoba and a guy named Michael Markowski,
I remember
put this together as a cable channel. Michael and I had been involved in a couple of cable channels prior to that were successful. And however, by the time we put SIPD TV together, and this is the cable companies were consolidating, and basically it was going to be at a point where the business model wouldn't work because they were starting to charge you for distribution. So we put it on the back burner, and Robert went out and wrote a book, Rich Dad, Poor Dad. Now he's one of the rock stars of self-improvement, personal development. But anyway, that's another area that has a lot of revenue potential. All of these people from Eckhart Tolle across the board. We also are going to be working with a company it's out of Paducah, Kentucky. It's called Emerald Therapy, and they are advanced in actually doing telemedicine type therapeutic thing. A lady heading that up is name is Shelley, and so self-improvement, personal development. DC Cordoba is still with me. Robert will probably have something major to do. Third is faith and values. We're not preaching. We're not selling religion. We are opening up an avenue for faith and values in which all religions can participate. Obviously, the the Christian, Protestant, Catholic, Mormon. We have relationships with all of them, and we've had deep conversations about their congregation subscribing to these services. And our lead service is called, and we have a pilot project going on now called joinjoyfulnoise.com. And it is the MTV and CMT of contemporary Christian music. And that music, again, has been underserved by media, mass media, and has a very passionate audience. And it is, we are going to put that out in part of the spiritual package. I just see that one of the top country stars is doing a Christmas gospel music thing. But we're going to be involved in the whole area of faith and values. And I don't want to dwell on that too much longer, but it's certainly an opportunity that will serve a good purpose, but also has a good business model behind it. Mm-hmm. So the fourth is Galleration. Galleration is something that one of my partners, Dick Cowan, came up with. And when he saw the immersive art world starting to happen, expand art, he has been an art collector and has a lot of experience in that. So he flew over to see when a couple of years ago, I think it was, when Van Gogh was exhibited in Paris and then later to Portugal. Now it's touring around the country in an immersive art form. And he comes back to me and he says, this could be one of our great Technotainment channels, but more importantly, I always like to sister brand where there are opportunities to create a land-based entertainment. We work with Dave Schmidt, who you may have met at some point or other, but his company is the leading land-based entertainment company. And anything that we do that has a electronic distribution, going back to CMT, by the way, in Music Village USA, we talk with him. Then the other one is smart music. And I won't go into that, but let's just say that music is my major, and we are working on some of the most innovative stuff, particularly when you incorporate Technotainment. You can imagine, since MTV and the internet killing the video star. I'll just put it that way. So is
some of this in the video that you gave me?
Actually, the video that I gave you is, first of all, Technotainment. Content is always king, but now that we have reached this level, and somewhat because of my early experience with working with Atari and Cube and using the technology to incorporate and affect the content, that today it's being underutilized because we're just moving in. The entertainment industry is just moving into this, and big companies have got their own library and inventory they got to put out there. But trust me, they will be moving into all of this, and hopefully our subsidiary of Technotainment Streaming Media, called CYMTV America. They're out of Holland, that have developed this proprietary capability that we can incorporate the technology into the content. Mm-hmm. It's a shotgun marriage. The tech, and look at what the kids are doing and have been doing for some time with gaming, and there's that technology and so forth. So Technotainment will be applied to in effect, our own owned and operated content genres, but we will also make it available available as a service that anyone else that wants to use, which also makes for a good business model.
Right on. Can we roll the video so we can see what that looks
Certainly
like?
Okay. Certainly may.
Because this is very, very interesting stuff.
This is the high-tech level.
I'm going to hit the share screen, and I'm going to share that screen. I'm going to add the sound and share. So can you see? All right, here we go.
I can't hear.
Is there music here?
Yeah, there's a voiceover.
Why couldn't we not hear it? Interesting.
Probably a button somewhere to hit.
Stand by. That's working, that's working, that's working. All right, let me end this and we're going to try it again.
Technotainment.
There it is. Okay, you're right. There is a button to push.
Uh,
Okay, stand by. Here we go. Round 2. With sound. And share. And play.
Technotainment, Streaming 2.0, the birth of a new medium. Technotainment is becoming a new trillion-dollar industry that will revitalize arts, entertainment, and gaming, transcending the old paradigms to create a new art form. The age of technological evolution. The evolution and unfoldment of technology is largely inspired and guided by the generational youth of a nation, whose restless imaginations and idealism, free from the grip of what was, combine to create truly new ways of being. Frustrated by the limits of tradition, today's youth demand a new mode of expression. Technotainment areas of impact. A disruptive force across multiple industries that will reinvent content curation and distribution, what we're calling Streaming 2.0. A new paradigm characterized by global collaboration. A technological evolution defined by novel digital ecosystems and the evolution of human art interfaces. Mobile streaming connectivity at a global scale. Technotainment is not a service, but rather an entirely new class of services, what we call Technotainment as a Service, or TaaS. Integrating smart devices with a new generation of technology to disrupt and evolve existing digital ecosystems to diversify utilization. Transport end users into a new visual representation of content and engagement through the integration of land-based streaming, virtual and augmented reality, and plug-and-play technologies. Technology as a service will leverage blockchain, cryptocurrency, and gamification to optimize efficiency, security, and profitability by encouraging the proliferation of content development, distribution, and monetization models. Where is Technotainment going? Transporting the worlds of art, music, sports, gaming, and other entertainment into TaaS digital ecosystems. Evolving education to elevate student development. Simplifying the complex infrastructure and platform management for land-based streaming and media distribution.
That's so awesome. That's so awesome. Wow. Very cool, man. Very cool, man.
It's an exciting time for us to be both on your side of the camera and the suit side, if you will.
Yeah.
And I'm really looking forward to working with you. And certainly comedy underpins a lot of the a lot of the genres that we have. Plus, it's not to say we will not create new genres. We test this programming in these TAMI centers. I said we
Real
got.
quick, free up your mic.
Yeah,
cable.
go ahead.
I think it's scrubbing on something. Your mic
Sorry.
cable, yeah, make it clear
Yeah.
out. Yeah.
Well, first of all, I don't want to take you over time here. I was just saying I'm hoping that I'm expecting that we will be working together, and you'll be very much a part of this. And it's a fun time to be in it.
Excited. Yeah. From the very first day you ran it down, I was like all ears. And it's very, very exciting stuff that you got. And, you know, with my giant screens and my online podcast network and my PNN Academy, where we're teaching people how to do podcast and film and how to do audio and run mics and voiceover and write scripts and produce your own show and direct your own crews and put your productions together. Like it's a complete dovetail into what you're doing, and I couldn't be more excited.
Excellent. That was a good setup by me, wasn't it?
That was a great setup.
I'm anxious for my people to hear that as well. So we look forward to seeing this. And any other questions or anything? Otherwise, I really appreciate you having me on your. And happy birthday to you tomorrow.
Thank you.
And congratulations about being the International Day of Comedy
thank you
in California.
Much. Where can we find you? What's your website?
Technotainment.com.
Awesome. And you can find me at podbrother.com, or you can find this show at podbrothernation.com. Thank you guys for tuning in and listening, and we'll be back with more International Day of Comedy